Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in the Spokane Sangha, and I'm really happy to be here today on this roasting Friday in Eastern Washington. And I have with me this wonderful little vase, this little bowl that my daughter made when she was in high school. And I just love it. And I fill it with these cards, these little hand-painted cards that I've made over the years. And on the backs of these cards are sentiments of loving kindness. And this is just my way of kind of creating a ritual, for lack of a better word, in to just wrap my life around mindfulness and meditation and kindness. And to pull a card every day is a little ritual that helps remind me I'm on this path. I've made this dedication. So let's read this one. This one says, may my path be clear. May my path be clear. Friends, for the month of August, we are exploring in the Spokane Sangha an aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path. The Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path is the very first teaching of the Buddha, and it is the foundation of the Recovery Dharma practice. And one of the things that I noticed when I was learning Buddhism, when I was first beginning to study, I would memorize, what are the Four Noble Truths? What is the Noble Eightfold Path? And the more I got into it, it was like falling into a deeper and deeper space. The more I thought about wise intention, wise understanding, wise action, the more it just started to open and open and open and open. And so, what we do in the Spokane Sangha is we take these concepts and we study them for a month. We explore them and we really try to get a deeper look at it. We look at these ideas from multiple angles. And so, this month, we are exploring wise speech. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about receiving wise speech. What happens when we receive speech that isn't particularly skillful? How do we hold it? And maybe we don't hold it. Maybe we hurl it right back in an unskillful way, sort of just mirroring that action. And then we're like, ugh, why did I do that? And so this wise speech has so much involved in it, right? This is why it's called the Noble Eightfold Path. It's not the Noble Eight-lined path, the Noble Eight-step path, the Noble List of Ingredients path. This is a path that just flows into and folds into one another, and it mixes all together, and it makes this glorious thing we call a precious human life. So today, I want to talk to you about wise speech as it relates to teasing. Teasing, the way we tease. And the thing that I'd like to share with you, and I know several of you are here for the first time, so you're just going to get introduced to the wacky nature of Julia. And I want to share with you one of my favorite all-time books ever. The Roget's Thesaurus. All righty? And why I geek out on this book so much is because words matter. And words don't matter in terms of wise speech as having the fanciest words, talking with sounding like some kind of intellectual or anything like that. Words matter in terms of their description, their access to understanding. And so when I looked up the word this morning, tease, what happened was fascinating. So when I think of the word tease, I think of joking. We're kidding, we're joshing around. Well, that was last in the list of connotations here. The first connotation was unpleasure. The second was disappointment. The third was to deceive. The fourth was to prod and press and urge. The fifth was to banter, kid, joke. So, why this is important is because the invitation to practice wise speech isn't one so we look smarter, we feel superior, we get our righteousness across with more clarity and indignation. The whole purpose of cultivating wise speech is to better understand ourselves, our minds, our thoughts, and by extension, our actions. And when we do that, we begin to understand others and our connection to them and the way we relate to them. And so, this wise speech is an access to our own interior landscapes, the landscape of the mind, the landscape of the heart, the repetitive ways we tell stories to ourselves, the repetitive language we use to describe ourselves and others, the things we say over and over and over again in terms of judgment and diminishment, and we repeat it so often we think it's factual. Wise speech is a way of breaking that habit. It's a way of slowing down that momentum. It's a way of putting up a boundary and saying, wait a minute, is this what I really mean to say? Is this what I really mean to do? Is this is this my real intention here? So when we tease, what's the intention? Is it really to joke? I'm just teasing. I was just kidding. Or is it that kind of funny, slightly icky way of taking a swipe at someone, judging someone, taking a jab, making them a little bit more diminished? I'm gonna slightly put you in your space, little body check. What's that all about? And only you can answer that. Only you can answer that for yourself. However, when you're on the receiving end of teasing, how does it feel? What do you think? What are the stories that erupt in your own mind? So, I have two brothers, an older brother and a twin brother, and they go after each other. I mean, they just tease each other mercilessly. Like I could never tease like that. They're kind of mean, actually, sometimes. But here's the thing about their teasing. It's mutual. They have an understanding established between them. So they kind of know what the secret language means. And in their way, it's a way of expressing connection and affection, and maybe even love. It doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. I'm too sensitive for it. In fact, if anything, I'm literary. I'm literal. So I'm literally sensitive. So when I hear words like loser, you're such a loser, it's not funny for me. It hurts. It's like, ow, I don't know. Why? Why say that? Of all the words to call me, that's the one you're going to say. So I just don't find a whole lot of, I don't have a whole lot of space for it in my repertoire. But I had to explain that to my brothers. And I had to let them know because the teasing that they would do with one another, that they mutually understood, that they were very lighthearted, would sort of spill over. And it would land on me and I'd be like, ick, that does not feel good. What do I do with this? And then I had to contend with things like, little elbow jabs of, ah, you're just so sensitive. You take everything so seriously. So exhausting. Why do you gotta take everything so seriously, Julia? And there it is. There's a little bit more of the diminishment, like my soul, the light of my soul would turn down a little bit, and I'd be like, oh, right, right, somehow that's bad. And then something happened in my practice where I was like, hang on a second. What if being sensitive and taking these things seriously is actually maturity, awareness, presence, self-acceptance? And what if I express that to my brothers and just kind of let them in on my own mind? And we had a very tender conversation one time. My older brother was really teasing me, and I just looked at him and wept a little bit and said, I'm not Matt, my brother. I'm me. And that kind of teasing, it hurts my feelings. I'm highly sensitive to it, and that's something about me that I actually really like. And it's not something I want to harden to the world. There's enough of that already. And my brother just looked at me and he was like, he was shocked for a moment. And then he got big tears in his eyes and he hugged me. Powerful, powerful. Because you can imagine there are people that we encounter who are so heavily defended that that would land as a threat. And then they would get more defensive. And of course, the conversation would just continue to devolve. But my brother sensed that it was an invitation. It was a, hey, see me moment. And this is how I want to be treated. This is how I deserve to be treated. This is how I need to be treated by you. This is how you love me. And it really changed my connection to my brothers. They both softened a little bit, which was really extraordinary. They still go after each other, like like my two little boy puppies. They growl and whatever, that's for them. But for me, it was very, very different. So the invitation today, and I'm just going to invite us into a little bit of quiet time, is how do you hold teasing? And can you hold it with a lighter touch, a softer touch, and maybe question it? Can you make a little space around the way you tease? Because you just never know who the recipient is and what they might be going through. You never know if your teasing is going to hit a gentle nerve. And if that gentle nerve is hit, are you someone who shuts down and avoids? I certainly have been that person. Or are you with someone that you can actually have a tender, tearful, honest conversation of, hey, I'd really like you to not do that anymore. I'm in a different place in my life. It's just too tender. I've been doing this work where I'm revealing these these scars, and just the lightest teasing touch ignites them and hurts them and makes them really raw. I need to not have that in my life. Imagine saying that to someone you trust who could hold it. Not everybody can. Not everybody can. So this is a cautionary practice, to practice with people that you've cultivated some trust, to practice with people who are willing to practice at a time in your life when you're feeling a little bit more resourced, a little bit more resilient, because it may be risky. But take a look at teasing in your life. So let's close our eyes for just a couple of minutes. And thank you for letting me share with you some emotion about it, a few tears. It's so tender, these deeper connections with people that we really, really love. It's daring to reveal that kind of vulnerability with others. And so thank you for being a community of people so well practiced that you can help me hold this tenderness. It helps me heal. So take a minute in this quiet moment to just ask, have I ever thought about teasing? Have I ever thought about its qualities, the way it lands in me? Have I ever thought about it as a reactivity of defensiveness? Have I ever considered that my teasing could be a weapon? Have I ever considered that teasing might be something I could put down and instead begin to practice with an instrument of peace known as encouragement? Take that in, friends. Take it in with your breath. Breathing in wise speech. Breathing out, transforming teasing to encouragement. Ah, breathe that in. With kindness in my mind, with kindness in my heart. May the path to this inquiry be clear. So I just want to just tie in a couple of ideas. The first is that even when we're really close to someone, even when we're intimate with someone, and I'm not talking about necessarily sexually intimate with somebody, but just we're close. We care about someone. We still may not know their whole story because they may not know their whole story. They're still unearthing these these wounds that are remembered in the body, right? And that's what sate is. Sate mindfulness is to remember, and sometimes we get activated by things that surprise us. And so when we tease, we can be unintentionally, obviously, activating someone in ways that we never intended. Never, not in a million years. So it is a worthy endeavor to examine, why am I teasing? Is this idle chatter? Is this a waste of time? Is this a way to connect? Is this some kind of veiled hostility or aggression? And what is this? And then the other thing to contemplate is when you're on the receiving end of someone teasing, how do you want to handle it? And here's something that I would simply offer. If you are connected with somebody and if you are animated and you have a degree of intimacy, some real connection, I would encourage the risk to say, I don't think you intended to touch this scar. And I don't think I've ever let you know that I have this wound. But I'm going to share something with you, and I ask that you see me. Can you see me? This hurts me. Please don't do it again, or please stop. And then imagine if somebody said that to you, so you're the teaser, somebody lets you in, lets them know how your teasing landed, then what do you do with it? Weaponize it? Or take it in and go, wow, I apologize, or whatever it is that you do. This is how we build mutuality. This is how we build trust. This is how we repair not only relationships with one another, but a legacy of relating that has been so toxic. All of this matters. And it's so subtle and so complex. And we can learn so much. It's hard to believe in the way we tease and joke. So, friends, let's continue these joyful and wonderful conversations. We don't meet at all this weekend. Sadness, sadness, I'm so sorry. But I will tell you that I will be up to lots of no good. So, what I'm going to do this weekend, and I'll keep you all posted, is I'm hopefully going to extract honey from my beehives. I'm 100% terrified about the whole process. I'm geeking out about what I don't know. I can do hard things and I have help. So there you have it. That's what I'm doing. I'll report all about it on Monday. We meet then in the morning at 9 o'clock for Monday morning meditation. If you want to join us for that, you can register for that. And then we also meet for Recovery Dharma on Monday evening. Couple of other announcements to share. One is our Satyaseva, which a couple of our Sangha members here today might enjoy if you're not familiar with it. This is a program of 16 mindfulness practices that is an affinity group associated with Recovery Dharma. And this is all about encouraging how do we support one another. If the focus of recovery isn't all on me, how can I be a supportive person encouraging someone else? And so there's lots and lots of recordings on our website, YouTube page, podcasts. Go check it out. There's even a book. You can read all about it. And it's on the website there. I also want to let you know in January through May, one Saturday a month, Soul Center and Lo are hosting a Sate Seva course. And this is all about cultivating a sacred life. And we did this last year and we're doing it again. And it is just a deep dive into bringing sacredness back to life. So you can read all about that on the website as well. It's a small group, and it sold out last time, and so I would encourage you to register. You have to sign up for all 5 retreats. That's what it's all about. Please know that everything that we offer when you make a Dana offering for our classes and workshops and retreats and so forth, all of that is a way of supporting this community. We do have an in-person space where we pay rent and insurance and all the things. And so we offer these additional opportunities as a way of funding that that resource as well. Email me with any questions or concerns. I'm happy to engage any of your questions. Check out the Recovery Dharma meeting page for a list of meetings all over the world, all different times. They're all so incredible. Lo, have I forgotten anything? Are we good? I think we got it. Okay. Let's go ahead and end our practice today with a dedication of merit. And this is a book that I love, The Art of Communicating by Thich Nhat Hanh. The Art of Communicating, Thich Nhat Hanh. And I love these books because I just randomly open it up and I find something that I want to read. And here's the dedication that I'd like to end our practice with today. Remember, it's tradition in the Buddhist practice that we set an intention at the beginning of the meeting as a way of concentrating our task, our meditation, and our practice. Today was to cultivate loving kindness so that our path can be clear. We end by dedicating the goodness, the merit of this practice. And we're dedicating it because it's a reminder that we're not here to lock in the goodness for ourselves. We're here to risk, to share it, to put it in the world, to practice. The risk is you're going to flub it. So, okay, keep practicing, keep going. I am here for you. This is the best gift you can give a loved one. What an encouraging thing to say as a practice of wise speech. Looking at someone in a state of vulnerability, looking at someone in a state of judgment, and then saying to yourself, and maybe even saying to them, wow, I'm here for you. But how am I here for you? Am I here in judgment? Am I here in respect? Am I here in curiosity? I can be here with you in so many different ways. What is my aspiration? This is a practice, friends. And we show up to this practice as our best self. And then we go out into life and experiment and see what happens. I wish for you many, many teeter-tottery moments so you can find the balance in your own life, in your own conditions. And may you do so playfully and joyfully. And may you do so with the understanding that every wiggle and every wobble brings you that much closer to strength, solidity, mindful presence. Thank you for your practice here today, friends. We'll see you next time. Namaste.